Are we about to say goodbye to Jujutsu Kaisen faster than we imagined? With its rapid conclusion on the horizon, this beloved series might be leaving us too soon. Let's take a closer look at why its ending feels rushed and what it means for fans who've been on this epic journey for 6 years. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. You're watching the channel Dr. Applesauce. My name's Will. It's another beautiful day here in Texas. I hope you guys know that I love you, God loves you, and that there is an awesome plan for your life. Announcements were made a few days ago that Gege Akutami plans to end the Jujutsu Kaisen manga in 5 more chapters. Now, if you're not a manga reader or you're anime only, then you might not really understand what that means, but 5 chapters is not a whole lot. It's less than 100 pages of a manga. And the fact that Gege Akutami is planning to end Jujutsu Kaisen in 5 chapters is really shocking for a lot of reasons. Chiefly among those, for me personally, I think it's too soon. I don't think that's enough time to wrap up the Jujutsu Kaisen story. There's a lot to unpack with all of this, but chiefly among those is it feels like it's kind of rushed. Now, caveat, I want to start off by saying I've been a big fan of Jujutsu Kaisen. Do I think JJK is the best anime ever? Absolutely not. Do I think JJK is really good and really fun and very entertaining and good to watch? Yes, absolutely. I love watching JJK and I love reading the manga. And I also give credit where credit's due. JJK has come out in a time where it has been very, very popular and very, very appealing to lots of newer anime fans. And when I reference the term anime fans, I'm talking about anime fans who have been interested in anime for 10 years or less, 10 to 5 years or less. And it's been very popular with anime fans in that category because it's really appealing. The animation by Mappa is great. The fight scenes are awesome. And there is story there. While the story isn't quite as deep as some other things, and it is a little convoluted and confusing at times, the story is there, the world building is there, and the animation and the fight scenes really carry the show, and it's just a really fun and entertaining watch. Now, if you are anime only or you are not caught all the way up on the manga, this is your spoiler warning, okay? We will be talking about the current story of Jujutsu Kaisen, so here's your spoiler warning if you're anime only. But at the end of the anime that we've seen so far, we've gotten all the way up to season 2, the end of the Shibuya incident. That's where we are in the anime. You see that we're basically right before where the culling game starts. And when the culling game starts, where we'll start into season 3 and we're in the culling game manga, things start to rapidly move forward at an incredibly fast pace, almost to the point where, in my opinion, it felt very, very confusing, especially when we got to the point where Sukuna is fighting basically everyone. Everyone's taking their opportunity to fight Sukuna and try and defeat Sukuna, and then you have Geto over here fighting different people, and then Geto ultimately, loses and all that good stuff. But Culling Game really speeds up and really gets, I wouldn't say confusing, but it gets really fast and hard to follow. But once you get to the Sukuna fights is when things really start to get odd and really convoluted, and that's fine. That may just be me, but to hear that Akutami is planning on ending the manga in 5 chapters, combined with all of that, I cannot help but think that it's gonna feel really rushed. Now, why am I saying that I feel like it's gonna feel like it's been rushed? Well, the main reason for that is where we are in the story of the manga. What's actually going on is Yuji just started fighting Sukuna. We just found out that Itadori has a domain expansion, and Itadori has taken Sukuna into his domain expansion, and the real fight between Sukuna and Itadori has just now started. And then to hear that it's gonna end in 5 chapters, that's not a lot. There's a lot to unpack with what can Itadori really do? Does Sukuna have any trump cards up his sleeves? What can really happen in this epic battle that's supposed to be the climax, the conclusion of the entire Jujutsu Kaisen story? If you look at the fight between Sukuna and Gojo, that was like 15 chapters or so in the manga, it felt like it was a pretty decent drawn out fight. And it seems like the fight between Sukuna and Itadori is going to be even shorter than that. Now let's talk about some theory here for a second. Throughout the entire JJK series, even if you're anime only and you've only seen the first 2 seasons, you know that Akutami, the creator and writer and author of the Jujutsu Kaisen manga, is not afraid to kill off main characters. He's not afraid to do the crazy things, and as soon as there's the whole trope where as soon as you start to like a Jujutsu Kaisen character, they die, right? That's definitely kind of true. And the battles that we see in Jujutsu Kaisen and the bad guys basically constantly winning, and the good guys are just really trying to hold on and trying to catch up and trying to just keep, things from absolutely falling apart. And we see so many deaths in Jujutsu Kaisen, and what we've seen here is Akutami setting a tone that the good guys don't always win, that the bad guys are really powerful. And something that I would like to see, and some theory that I have, is I would like to see, you might hate me for this, drop me a comment down below and let me know if you hate me for this and you hate this opinion. I would like to see that trend and that theme carry out throughout the end of the story. Now, what do you mean by that? We'll get to that. We'll get to what I mean by that here in just a second. During an interview where Akutami's talking about ending the manga in 5 chapters, he actually says, or I guess it could be a she, we don't even really know who Gege Akutami is yet, do we? I don't think there's ever really been a picture, we don't even know if it's a man or a woman or who Gege Akutami is. But anyways, Akutami says that the only reason they were able to finish the Jujutsu Kaisen manga the way they wanted, and the Jujutsu Kaisen story the way they wanted, is from the support of their fans. And then they specifically say, go easy on me. That really makes me think, how is Akutami gonna actually end Jujutsu Kaisen? I'm able to end it the way I did because of the support of the fans, and the go easy on me comment makes me think and makes me curious that Akutami might not be ending everything with a perfect little bow and happy ending like the majority of anime fans want. If we've seen anything, when the My Hero Academia manga ended, that it wasn't the perfect little bow where everybody got their presents, and a lot of manga and anime fans were upset because it didn't just end up perfectly. Well, I'm wondering, based on those statements from Akutami and based on the tone that Akutami has set throughout the entirety of the story, if the ending of Jujutsu Kaisen might not be a happy ending. And for me, personally, I would actually like that. I would like it if Jujutsu Kaisen does not have a happy ending. I have my theory how I would love it if Jujutsu Kaisen ends with Sukuna standing on a massive pile of charred corpses, looking over his shoulder at the camera and saying, oh, you guys all thought this was Yuji Itadori's story, and then it ends basically with Sukuna winning, and this whole time, Jujutsu Kaisen has been about Sukuna re-emerging and coming back into power. I've always thought that would be a really fitting ending, and I'm sure people watching this, let me know if you think that's stupid in the comments below. I'm sure people disagree with that because it's not your typical happy, go lucky, good, happy ending, but it is a powerful and tragic ending to an anime that has been to a story this whole time that has been powerful and tragic, with the amount of main characters that we've seen killed, the amount of people, just ancillary, like civilian people in the story that have been killed. In Shibuya, tens of thousands were killed. It would go in line with this whole theme. What would actually, to me, seem out of place is if Itadori defeats Sukuna and then everything is happy-go-lucky. I don't think that fits right in place. And the reason I put all this context together, the reason I'm belaboring all of this in a video that's about, I think Jujutsu Kaisen is ending too soon, is because I don't think 5 chapters is enough to wrap all of that up. In Jujutsu Kaisen, most chapters are about 19 or 20 pages. That's 19 or 20 comic strip pages. That's not very much. I can read a chapter of manga in 2 or 3 minutes. And to say that Jujutsu Kaisen is going to end in 5 chapters, I'm kind of curious and slightly concerned if it's going to be wrapped up properly. For one, there's so much more lore that can really go into the story of JJK, so much more lore into Sukuna's past, so much more lore delving into Yuji's training and the things that Yuji is able to accomplish, so much more lore just in the, Jujutsu society. There's so much in the background that we haven't seen a lot of. There's so much in the background about cursed spirits, and could cursed spirits and cursed energy be potentially eradicated from the world permanently? Is that a possibility? There's a lot more room to really dive into this lore, and then furthermore, there's a lot more room to really wrap up this battle between Itadori and Sukuna. Yeah, I know they're about to go at it and they're gonna fight, but I just don't feel like 5 chapters is enough to wrap up this massive battle, which I think it could just end up being kind of anticlimactic. Like, in my opinion, massive spoiler warning, but in my opinion, the battle between Gojo and Sukuna ended very anticlimactically. The battle was really cool, and then all of a sudden it was just over, just like that, just over. Is that what we're going to see happen with the battle between Itadori and Sukuna? Is it going to just kind of be over like that, and then, hey, everything is over? There doesn't seem like there's time to wrap up the story. Now, again, caveat, if Akutami is going to go into this with the idea of continuing this dark, tragic theme that's been going through the entire story and taking that into the very end, if Akutami is going to go with that trend, then I could see how the ending happening, and my hope is that Sukuna wins. I think that would be a great ending, and then it's just over, an abrupt ending and over. Well, that would leave an impact, and a lot of people would be mad. Even if it was a good ending, you know, as far as the story is concerned, people are going to be mad no matter what happens. So I think there's too much left in the Jujutsu Kaisen story. There's too much left to wrap up. There's too much lore to end in 5 chapters. I personally feel like it's rushed. I feel like a lot of the fight with Sukuna has been really convoluted and rushed. This doesn't mean I don't like it. I'm just being critical because I enjoy and I really like this story. I'm just giving my opinions. I'm very much hoping that Akutami proves me wrong and does something really great in these last 5 chapters and really ends it really, really well. Unless Akutami pulls a Dandadan and makes those 5 chapters 40 or 50 pages each. Like the first 2 or 3 chapters of Dandadan were like 50 or 60 pages each. Akutami could do that, and then we would have plenty of time. But that's my opinion. Jujutsu Kaisen has been an awesome, great anime to bring a lot of people in, and you can't deny how popular it is and how many people have loved it. I want to know your opinions. Let me know down in the comments below. What do you think? Is this enough time to end Jujutsu Kaisen? Is it ending too soon? And what do you think about my theories that I want Sukuna to win and it to end with the bad guy winning? Let me know down in the comments below. I would love to hear, and I'll try and reply to all of your comments as well. And if you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, give it a thumbs up. That is a free way for you to support me and help the channel. Subscribe, hit that notification bell, all that good stuff, and check this video out right here. It's a pretty dope anime video. I think you'll like it a lot. And like I always say, find somebody to love and serve today. Be the change you want to see in the world. See you next time.